So if I wasn't in enough pain last night after, this is Woody's World, sponsored by Shanahan's Steakhouse, and we'll tell you all about Shanahan's at length later after this is over. But if I wasn't in enough pain yesterday, so I sat at home last night. This is really good. For all you kids at home, here's an idea. When you have a root canal and you've sat there for an hour and a half in the dentist chair, go home and have a Vicodin and a Jack and Diet Coke. That kind of turns your life around. And then you watch the Rockies and all of that pain medication wears off because it's such a pain to have to watch them. Oh, De La Rosa. Wow. I want to talk about De La Rosa today. 5 victories. 5 victories. He has been playing lights. He's been pitching lights out, and he's pitched through a finger injury. And I come back to this. Is there not a better time in the world between now and the end of July to trade De La Rosa? Do you really think you want to bring him back next year, $12 million or $13 million? He's making more than 10 this year. Do you really want to do that? You have to trade him right now. And the Rockies are sitting out there thinking they're going to play significant games in September. No, they're not. We're at the halfway point, July 4th. That's this weekend. They're going to be 13 or 14 games under 500. They would have to win like 70% of their games to have a chance to get to 85, 86. All right, there are people in this studio that want to give the general manager a chance, and I know that he's not maybe giving the rein to other people. But here's an idea. De La Rosa, Tulowitzki. What teams would you trade Tulowitzki to? Those rumors are starting again. Cargo's been hitting better and hadn't hit well the last 2 or 3 nights. You got to get rid of those 3 people. If you don't think, not because I dislike them, but you've got to take your best assets and try and. The newest thing in sports is not reconstruction. It's a rebuilding. It's a reset. It's like everybody that's a general manager in the league grew up playing asteroids or something. Oh, I can't beat it. I'll reset it and start all over again. So reset is the word of the year in all of sports. Here's the point I'm getting at. 3 guys. Get them off the books. Trade them for young pitchers or another team's 3rd pitcher. If you look at this, you are going into the month of July and your best pitcher has 5 victories. Your ace is 3-10. You got a couple other guys that have won 3 games. Overall, the starting rotation has won 17 games. And we're halfway through the season, so think about that. They've won 17 games. Are they suddenly going to get better? No. We don't know where Jonathan Gray is. He's fallen off the map. I mentioned yesterday that if you go to their AA club, nobody's hitting over 280. They just moved Kevin Story up. Well, okay, there's your guy. You not only have him, but you got to get him out of the way because you just drafted the #1 guy who's a shortstop, so you have to make room for him in 3 or 4 years. They don't even have a clue what they're doing out there. Jerry Dipoto was a very solid pitcher when he was with the Rockies. You remember Jerry Dipoto. He was not great. He wasn't an all-star, but he was a solid pitcher. He's gone into management in baseball. He's leaving the Angels. He's out there. Why in the world wouldn't you have someone in charge who has a pitching background, not a guy whose son has just been suspended for 50 games for using performance-enhancing drugs? Doesn't he know any better? His father was in baseball his whole life. Do you really want someone who's in charge because he went to an Ivy League school and he was a catcher in college and he's a friend of the guy who's the owner of the team? Jerry Dipoto has been in Arizona. He's been in the Angels. He maybe has succeeded or failed there, but you could bring him in as the president of the club, somebody that has a baseball background that actually knows about baseball. It hasn't ended on good terms in L.A. because Socha and he have never gotten along, but Dipoto is a guy that we could at least grab our arms around, like Walt Weiss, and say, they played together, by the way, and say, Mr. Monfort, just go over and sit behind the dugout, by the first base dugout, and eat your popcorn and invite your brother over, and let's turn the team over to a guy that at least has been an assistant general manager, has been a personnel guy. Jerry Dipoto is sitting out there. They don't want to go to other organizations like the Cardinals and get somebody that's really good, but at least you would think that they'd want to talk to Dipoto about a major role with this major league team. Bring him back. That's under these circumstances. That's about the best you can do. I'm Woody Paige. That's my opinion. Shanahan Steakhouse. There's that pause. We were there Saturday night. You ordered the appetizers. I asked you to do that. And what did you order? Because you knew, because it was my birthday.
The beef carpaccio, the calamari, and the crab.
Crab cocktail.
Crab cocktail.
And they were just, it was like locusts came
favorites.
through there. Passed them around. I passed them around, carpaccio. It never got back to me. I was going to have it last. It never made it back to me. The crab cocktail, I had one, and there's a bunch in there, like 9 or 10. That never got back to me. Calamari came back to me. The sauce did.
The sauce came back to you a little later that night too, didn't it?
Yeah, sauce and crumbs.
I had the crab cakes as an entree, and you go the way of the pork chop. People think because we say it's Shanahan Steakhouse, it's steaks, but great, incredible seafood.
Yeah.
The pork chops are great. I do the lobster. I love the crab cakes there. I don't know anything about the dessert because I never get that far, and neither will you, because it is incredible. Shanahan Steakhouse. Make a reservation today at shanahansteakhouse.com.